Act 1, Scene 2. So if you pull up your folder, I got my Signet book with the notes. I'm reading my book and also reading off the screen. I have my other pile of notes here. Uh, so if there's any moments in the play that you'd want to close read even more, I could go on and on with this, but I'm trying to keep these videos relatively short. So some I might be glossing over, but if there are any moments you want to spend more time on, please email me and we could set up a meeting. Uh, we're at Act 1, Scene 2. We have the first of Hamlet's 7 soliloquies. So I'm going to read the soliloquy, mark it, because that'll be in our first paper, and I'll go over that in detail. All right, let's get into it. Here's the synopsis of Scene 2. In an audience chamber in Elsinore, Claudius, the new king of Denmark, holds court. Remember, Claudius, Hamlet's uncle, he murders King Hamlet and marries Gertrude, Hamlet's mom. After thanking his courtiers for their recent support, he dispatches ambassadors to Norway to halt a threatened attack from Fortinbras. Fortinbras' father was murdered by Hamlet's father. Fortinbras wants his land back, and we'll see that come to fruition at the end. He gives Laertes permission to return to France, but denies Hamlet's request to return to university in Wittenberg. Claudius does not want Hamlet to leave, so he wants to keep an eye on him. Hamlet, mourning for his father's death, is left alone to vent his despair at what he regards as his mother's all too hasty marriage to his uncle Claudius. The audience learned that the marriage took place within a month of the former king's death. Hamlet is mean and nasty and gives his mother hell for marrying Claudius, just a month after the death of King Hamlet. So Horatio, Bernardo, and Marcellus arrive to tell Hamlet about the ghost. Hamlet makes plans to join them that night. All right, so here we have the flourish, the trumpets. Hear ye, hear ye. Here's King Claudius. Though yet of Hamlet, our dear brother's death, the memory be green, it's new, and that it is us befitted to bear our hearts in grief, and our whole kingdom to be contracted in one brow of woe. Yet so far hath discretion fought with nature, that we with wisest sorrow think of him together with remembrance of ourselves. Therefore, our sometime sister, that's Gertrude, right? Now our queen, Queen Gertrude, the imperial jointress to this warlike state, have we as twere with a defeated joy, with an auspicious, joyful and a dropping eye, with mirth in funeral, and with dirge in marriage, an equal scale weighing delight and dole. Equal scale delight, equal scale dole. Taken to wife. Nor have we herein barred your better wisdom, which have freely gone with this affair along. For all our thanks, now follows that you know young Fortinbras holding a weak supposal of our worth, or thinking by our late dear brother's death. That's King Hamlet, right? Our state to be disjoint and out of frame. We're out of frame here. Out of order, disjointed. Colleagued with this dream of his advantage, he hath not failed to pester us with message importing the surrender of those lands. That's Fortinbras. He wants his lands back, right? To our most valiant brother. So much for him, now for ourselves and for this time of meeting. Thus much the business is we have here writ to Norway, uncle of young Fortinbras, who, impotent and bedrid, scarcely hears of this his nephew's purpose, to suppress his further gate herein and that the levies, the lists, and full proportions are all made out of his subject. And we here dispatch you, good Cornelius, and you Voltimand, for bearers of this greeting told Norway, giving to you no further personal power to business with the king, more than the scope of this dilated articles allow. So we have the detailed documents. So the articles, detailed documents. All right, so gives them the paper. Farewell, and let your haste commend your duty. Cornelius Voltimand, and that in all things we shall show our duty. We doubt at nothing, heartily farewell. And now, Laertes, what's the news with you? You told us of some suit. What is it, Laertes? You cannot speak of reason to the Dane and lose your voice, waste your breath, the Dane. What wouldst thou beg, Laertes, that shall not be my offer? Not thy asking. The head is not more native to the heart, the hand more instrumental to the mouth. Then is the throne of Denmark to thy father. What wouldst thou have, Laertes? My dread lord, your leave and favour to return to France, from whence, though willingly, I came to Denmark to show my duty in your coronation, yet now I must confess, that duty done, my thoughts and wishes bend again toward France, and bow them to the gracious leave and pardon, and bow them to your gracious leave and pardon. Have you your father's leave? What says Polonius? Polonius is an interesting character. He speaks of wisdom. It's famously misquoted. Polonius' famous quote we'll get to thine own self be true, but he doesn't act. He doesn't act that way all the time. He hath, my lord, wrung from me my slow leave by laboursome petition, and at last upon his will I sealed my hard consent. 'Tis desire gave my reluctant consent. I do beseech you, give him leave to go. Take thy fair hour, Laertes, time be thine, and thy best grace is spended at thy will. But now, my cousin Hamlet and my son, he called Hamlet's his my son. Here's Hamlet's first words, right? It's a little more than kin and less than kind. It's a famous more than kin. This little pun here, pun on the meanings kindly and natural, though doubly related, more than kin. Hamlet asserts that he neither resembles Claudius in nature, I'm not, hey, we're nothing alike, nor feels kindly toward him, and I hate your guts, right? We're nothing alike and I hate you. A little more than kin and less than kind. Hamlet has he's quick. He's quick-witted, he's brilliant, he's intelligent. He knows what he's doing throughout, except for his indecision, right? And there's reasons for that we'll get into. How is it that the clouds still hang on you? Why are you still, you're in mourning. You have this melancholy. The clouds are still hang on you. Not so, my lord. I am too much in the sun. Queen, here's Gertrude. Good Hamlet, cast thy nighted colour off, the mourning colour, the black, and let thine eye look like a friend on Denmark. Do not forever with thy veiled lids seek for thy noble father in the dust. Thou knowest 'tis common, all that lives must die, passing through nature to eternity. Queen, this is Hamlet's mom, Gertrude. She's pretty much saying, get over it, Hamlet. Your father's dead, get over it. Hamlet's in mourning. Aye, madam, it is common. Universal, vulgar. Queen, Gertrude, Hamlet's mom. If it be, why seems it so particular with thee? And this is, listen to how look at how Hamlet talks to the queen, his mother here. Seems, madam? Nay, it is. I know not seems. It's, it is. It is. I am in mourning. I am upset, and I'm going to stay this way. It's not seems. 'Tis not alone my inky cloak, good mother, nor customary suits of solemn black, nor windy suspiration. This is heavy, the suspiration, the heavy sighing of forced breath. No, nor the fruitful river in the eye, tears, right? The river in the eye, the tears, nor the dejected heavier of the visage, together with all forms, moods, shapes of grief. I am grieving. I am upset. My dad is dead. That can denote me truly. These indeed seem, for they are actions that a man might play. But I have that within which passes show. These but the trappings and the suits of woe. This isn't for show. I'm really upset. This isn't a show. I'm not putting this on. I'm upset my father's dead. 'Tis sweet, here's King Claudius, 'tis sweet and commendable in your nature, Hamlet, to give these mourning duties to your father. But, again, here's Claudius, get over it too, right? But you must know your father lost a father, that father lost his, and the survivor bound in filial obligation for some term to do obsequious sorrow, suitable to funerals, right? Suitable to funerals. That's what that means. But to preserve an obstinate condolement, mourning, right? Condolement is mourning, is a course of impious stubbornness. 'Tis unmanly grief. Think of this. Claudius, king, is calling Hamlet unmanly. And this is what makes Hamlet so unique as a hero, he's a first character in literature at this point to kind of act this, In the past, before, think of like Beowulf and all these other characters. You bury your emotions and your feelings, and you attack. You don't grieve. And in the scene above, Hamlet's like, the river. I'm crying. I'm upset. You know, he's grieving. This is Hamlet's vulnerability here. A heart unfortified, Claudius goes on. A heart unfortified, a mind impatient, an understanding simple and unschooled, for what we know must be and is as common as any of the most vulgar, the most common thing to sense. Why should we in our peevish opposition take it to heart? Fie, 'tis a fault to heaven, a fault against the dead, a fault to nature, to reason most absurd, whose common theme is death of fathers. And who still hath cried from the first corpse, right? Till he that died today, this must be so. We pray you throw the earth, thus unprevailing woe, the unavailing woe, and think of us as of a father. Think of us as of a father. For let the world take note, you are the most immediate to our throne, and with no less nobility of love than that which dearest father bears his son, do I impart toward you. For your intent in going back to school in Wittenberg, it is most retrograde. So retrograde, right? Contrary to our desire, and we beseech you, bend you, we incline you, to remain here in the cheer and comfort of our eye, our chiefest courtier cousins. And so Hamlet's in college at Wittenberg. He's 30 years old in college, but Claudius, he's kind of given Hamlet the little runaround here. He doesn't really care about Hamlet. He wants to keep Hamlet close to keep an eye on him. So he's not plotting. If Hamlet goes back to college, who knows what Hamlet's going to get up to. So to keep Hamlet close, right? That's what he wants to do. Let not thy mother lose her prayers, Hamlet. I pray thee stay with us. Go not to Wittenberg. The mother, though, we're going to get into Gertrude, Queen Gertrude, her part in it. I think she's genuine here. Hamlet, I shall in all my best obey you, madam. Why, 'tis a loving and fair reply. Be as ourself in Denmark. Madam, come. This gentle and unforced accord of Hamlet sits smiling to my heart, in grace whereof no jocund health that Denmark drinks today, but the great cannon to the clouds shall tell, and the king's rouse, the deep drink, the heavens shall brew it again. Announced noisily, bespeaking earthly thunder, come away. Flourish, and everyone's gone. They leave. Here's Hamlet's first soliloquy. Hamlet's by himself. So here it is. Act 1, Scene 2, starting, about line 129, line 130. Here's Hamlet's first soliloquy, which I'll spend a few moments talking about it. Oh, that this too solid flesh would melt, thaw, and resolve itself into a dew, or that the everlasting had not fixed his cannon against self-slaughter. O God, God. This is Hamlet melancholy. He's lamenting here. O God, God, how weary, stale, flat, and unprofitable seem to me all the uses of the world. Why even go on? I am upset. Fie on it. Fie, 'tis an unweeded garden that grows to seed. Things rank and gross in nature possess it merely. That it should come to this, but 2 months dead? Nay, not so much, not 2. Hamlet's emotions, think of everything Hamlet's feeling in here, right? The solid which melt, canon the law merely entirely. Think of everything, possess it entirely. Hamlet is upset, he's sad, he's pissed off, he's angry, he's feeling the whole gambit of swirling emotions here. So excellent a king, my dad was an excellent king, that was to this Hyperion to a satyr. So Hamlet compares his dad to a Hyperion and Claudius a satyr, and I'll talk about that in a moment. Hyperion, the sun god, a model of beauty, so loving to my mother that he might not beteem the winds of heaven, visit her face too roughly. Heaven and earth, must I remember? Why she would hang on him as if increase of appetite had grown by what it fed on. And yet within a month, let me not think on it. Frailty, thy name is woman. There's a famous quote, right? My mother, frailty. You loved my father and you were honorable, true. And a month later, you marry Claudius. A little month or these shoes were old, with which she followed my poor father's body, like Niobe, a mother who wept profusely at the death of her children. Right, that's a reference to. All tears, why she, O God, a beast that wants discourse of reason. The discourse of reason lacks reasoning power. Would have mourned longer. A beast that lacks reasoning power. A beast would have mourned longer than my mother. Married with my uncle. My father's brother, but no more like my father than I to Hercules. That's brilliant there, right? Claudius is the complete opposite of King Hamlet, Hamlet's dad. Hamlet's dad was honorable. Hamlet's dad was good. Claudius is opposite. And Hamlet, this is brilliant too. Think of Hamlet's self-awareness. I am not Hercules. What would Hercules have done? We all know Hercules, right? A vision, a model of strength, virility, muscles. Hamlet is the opposite. Hamlet's the thinker. Hamlet is the complete opposite of Hercules. Within a month, ere yet the salt of most unrighteous tears had left the flushing in her galled eyes, she married, almost wicked speed to post, with such a dexterity to incestuous sheets. He's calling their marriage incestuous. It is not, nor it cannot come to good. Something bad's gonna, this cannot come to good. Something is bad, but break my heart, for I must hold my tongue. I'm not gonna say anything right now. Right? Hamlet is biding his time right now. He doesn't even know what's going on. Horatio, hail to your lordship. I am glad to see you well. Horatio, or do I forget myself? The same, my lord, and your poor servant ever. A few things before we go on about that soliloquy. Hamlet's passionate first soliloquy. So, this bears rereading and repeating here. Hamlet's passionate first soliloquy provides a striking contrast to the controlled and artificial dialogue that he must exchange with Claudius in his court. The primary function of the soliloquy is to reveal to the audience Hamlet's profound melancholy and the reasons for his despair. In a disjointed outpouring of disgust, anger, sorrow, and grief, Hamlet explains that without exception, everything in his world is either futile or contemptible. This is how we can relate to Hamlet. Have you ever felt like everything I do is futile, futile? Why are we here? What's the reason? His speech is saturated with suggestions of rot and corruption, as seen in the basic usage of words like rank and gross, and in the metaphor associating the world with an unweeded garden. The world is full of weeds. The nature of his grief is soon exposed as we learn that his mother, Gertrude, has married her own brother-in-law only 2 months after the death of Hamlet's father. Hamlet is tormented by images of Gertrude's tender affections toward his father, believing that her display of love was a pretense to satisfy her own lust and greed. Hamlet even negates Gertrude's initial grief over the loss of her husband. She cried unrighteous tears. Right there, unrighteous tears. Because the sorrow she expressed was insincere, belied by her reprehensible conduct. Shakespeare's use of juxtaposition and contrast to enhance Hamlet's feelings of contempt, disgust, and inadequacy, counterpointing between things divine and things earthly. Another striking juxtaposition in the soliloquy is Hamlet's use of Hyperion and a satyr to denote his father and his uncle, respectively. Hyperion, the Titan god of light, represents honor, virtue, regality, all traits belonging to Hamlet's father, the true king of Denmark. Satyrs, the half-human and half-beast companions of the wine god Dionysus, represent lasciviousness and overindulgence, much like Hamlet's usurping uncle Claudius. Claudius drinks and carries on. It is no wonder then that Hamlet develops a disgust for not only Claudius the man, but all the behaviors and excesses associated with Claudius. In other passages from the play, we see that Hamlet has begun to find revelry of any kind unacceptable. He loathes drinking, right? Hamlet is sober. So, all right, we got to move on. I want to finish this act up, Act 1, Scene 2. So, Horatio, Hamlet, I'm glad to see you. Horatio, or do I forget myself? The same, my lord, and your poor servant ever. Sir, my good friend, I'll exchange that name with you. And what make you from Wittenberg, Horatio Marcellus? My good lord. So these are Hamlet's friends. I am very glad to see you. Good even, sir, to Bernardo. But what in faith make you from Wittenberg? A truant disposition, good my lord. Hamlet, I would not hear your enemy say so, nor shall you do my ear the violence to make it truster, a believer, of your own report against yourself. I know you are no truant, but what is your affair in Elsinore? We'll teach you to drink deep ere you depart. Horatio, my lord, I came to see your father's funeral. Hamlet, I prithee, do not mock me, fellow student. I think it was to see my mother's wedding soon after. Horatio, indeed, my lord, it followed hard upon. Hamlet, thrift, Horatio, the funeral baked meats did coldly furnish forth the marriage tables. Would I had met my dearest, most intensely felt, my dearest foe in heaven, or ever had I seen that day, Horatio, my father, methinks I see my father. So, Hamlet, I see my father. Where, my lord? In my mind's eye, Horatio. Hamlet's father. Horatio, I saw him once. He was a goodly king. Was a man, take him for all in all. I shall not look upon his like again. He was one of a kind. He was a man, take him for all in all. I shall not look upon his like again. He was one of a kind. My lord, I think I saw him yesternight. Here's where they're telling Hamlet about the ghost, right? Here's where they saw who? My lord, the king your father. The king my father? Season your admiration, control your wonder. They're like, sit back, Hamlet. I know this is hard to believe, but we're going to tell you. For a while, with an attent ear, till I may deliver upon the witness of these gentlemen this marvel to you. For God's love, let me hear. Hamlet is, he wants to hear this. And here's the story. Horatio is telling him what happened in previously. 2 nights together had these gentlemen, Marcellus and Bernardo, on their watch in the dead waste and middle of the night, been thus encountered. A figure like your father, that's the ghost, armed at point exactly, cap a pie, head to foot, appears before them, and with solemn march goes slow and stately by them. Thrice he walked by their oppressed and fear-surprised eyes, within his truncheon's length, whilst they distilled almost to jelly with the act of fear. They were, they were reduced to, the ghost walked by, and they were scared. They were almost to jelly. Like, what the hell? Stand dumb and speak not to him. This to me in dreadful, terrified secrecy in part they did. And I with them the 3rd night kept the watch, where, as they had delivered both in time form of the thing, each word made true and good. The apparition comes. I knew your father. These hands are not more like. It was your father, Hamlet. But where was this? My lord, upon the platform where we watch. Did you not speak to it? My lord, I did, but answer made it none. Yet once methought it lifted up to head and did address itself to motion like as it would speak. But even then the morning cock crew loud, and at the sound it shrunk in haste away and vanished from our sight. Hamlet, 'tis very strange. Horatio, as I do live, my honored lord, 'tis true, and we did think it writ down in our duty to let you know of it. It was our duty as you're my friend to let you know. Indeed, sirs, but this troubles me. Hold you the watch tonight? We do, my lord. Armed, you say? From top to toe, my lord, from head to foot. Then saw you not his face? Oh, yes, my lord. He wore his beaver up. That was his visor, the face guard on the mask. He wore his face guard was up. What looked he frowningly? A countenance more in sorrow than in anger. So the ghost wasn't angry. It was more sorrowful, pale or red, nay, very pale, and fixed his eyes upon you most constantly. I would I had been there. I wish I was there. I wish I would have seen it. It would have very much amazed you. Very like, stayed it long, while one with moderate haste might tell 100. Longer, not when I saw it. His beard was grizzled, no. It was, as I have seen it in his life, a saber silvered, a sable silvered, black mingled with white. You know, he's waiting for the ghost, right? Waiting for the ghost. Hamlet, right here. I will watch tonight, perchance to walk again. I warn it will. If it assume my noble father's person. Here's Hamlet's plan. He's like, okay, I'm with you. I'm believing you. Right here, here's Hamlet's plan. These are his friends. If it assume my noble father's person, if it's my father, I'll speak to it though hell itself should gape. I don't care what happens. Hell's going to open up. I'm going to speak to this ghost, my father, and bid me hold my peace. I pray you all, if you have hitherto concealed this sight, let it be tenable, held. Tell no one else. So this is our secret. Tell nobody. In your silence still. And whatsoever else shall happen tonight, give it an understanding but no tongue. Understand it, but don't tell anybody. This is our secret. I will requite your love, so fare you well upon the platform. Twixt 11 and 12, I'll visit you. Our duty to your honor. Your love's as mine to you. Considerate, friendly. Farewell. Here's Hamlet, and they leave again. My father's spirit. In arms, all is not well. I doubt some foul play. Some foul play. So I suspect foul play. Would the night were come. Till then, sit still, my soul. Foul deeds will rise, though all the earth overwhelm them to men's eyes. There's a build-up here. Hamlet is like, something's going on, and I'm going to get to the bottom of this. This is beautiful language here, and we're going to see in the next scene Hamlet encountering his father's ghost.